If you can prove that a person intended to intimidate or terrorize another person with their speech, the government may permissibly punish that speech. And so in terms of this case, that makes the question, did Lucy have the intent to intimidate or terrorize someone? Now, who might those someones be? Who are the potential victims in this case?
Her principal and the 3 students.
So it's the teacher.
Slope. Now that type of argument is a little weaker just because there's nothing to support it. But I think looking at the facts of Lucy Hard's case and how that could apply to similar scenarios is a factor the court would have to consider.
What are bill sharing groups? Well, it's where the first draft of all the legislative delegates' ideas and passions gets put onto paper and is, for lack of a better word, thrown against the wall to see if it sticks. We get to give feedback to all of our friends and people we haven't even met before. We do some light tearing apart when it's necessary, but we also love to see new ideas that we haven't really experienced before, and then have that first draft of debate, what it's going to be like when we get to the House and Senate. It's really a valuable time to improve our bills and also improve our ability to communicate what our bills are about, because in the end, that's what legislative is about. It's about passing bills and having great debate.
I'm not sure if this is necessarily a critique or something that's needed, but maybe to put your definitions in alphabetical order.
Yeah. Just in line 111, I think the 15 years might be a lot considering people have to go through so many years of schooling first and then come out of that. Yeah. So maybe just cutting back on the amount of years they have to have of experience.
If you yield your time to the chair, that means you give the remainder of the time, so the remainder of the 2 minutes, just to the chair, and there's no more speakers. If you yield your time to any other pro or con speaker, that allows another speaker to talk.
Is the previous bill. I know it's very hard to read. Essentially what this bill does is it prevents smoking in all amusement parks, regardless of what the park wants. So right now there are a lot of amusement parks that have designated smoking areas. This would essentially say these are illegal and you're no longer allowed to do it.
Because they're sequestered to small portions, the rest of the park goers can have as much clean air as they want. And therefore, those people aren't being, because they're going to smoke whether they want, wherever they can. And so if they're not allowed to, they're going to secretly smoke in the middle of the park where the rest of the people are. This way, they're centered, no one else has to worry about them, and they're free to smoke. Yield my time.
So admin this year, we've just been, right now we're in our groups just kind of like evaluating the bills, determining like whether it's in line with Sam's policy, putting it on a 1 to 5 ranking, and then we're obviously doing the new fiscal note, which is really exciting, determining kind of the effects of the price and the funding section for each bill. And right now I'm just kind of running errands, grabbing people to see if we have some further questions, some clearing up to do, but we're just kind of organizing all the bills and just sorting out the topics that we want to try to sponsor.
We're gonna share for now. So make a friend, make a buddy, networking. Welcome to the government.
Tell you about lighting utensils, so they can't fill out a document that's necessary for voting. The prison officer can say people exploiting the prisons. Oh, the bill doesn't tell you that you need to give them lighting utensils.
Especially I don't know, this is talking about fertilizer to improve the environmental welfare in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
Right.
So I guess I'm for that. It just needs to be more defined.
Right. And generally speaking, farmers try to take care of the environment because if they don't, they can't farm anymore, right? So obviously there are consequences to decisions all the time, but
Right, because like if like kids drive to school and versus like if like you have after school activities and like parents can't like commute, that kind of thing, and the late bus isn't available.
So that's a good example of one that you can cover and kind of be like, we're actually against this.
Right.
Being for them is more fun, but being against is also a lot of fun. So you can just shut down those committees.
I was a mess.
Of course.
You guys are gonna Olivia, so you guys just want to go over like specific details of what they should be working on. We're gonna do a smile project more for like just in general. People can start picking up ideas.
How exactly do you plan on improving communication between you and your delegates during Model Weekend?
Thank you, Delegate. That was a good question. So specifically, once again, the idea of collaboration really comes into play. And at Model, when I plan to sit alongside the committee chairs and party leaders, I want to make it so that we're all on the same page. I want to make it so that the sub-levels in the chamber, such as the committee, can also bring out the voices within their own committee, so that if that's effective at their level, it will be that much better at the Senate chamber. Thank you.
When I sat in that seat in the glorious House of Representatives, I had to look inside of myself and decide, do I have what it takes? And in an instant, I shot my placard into the air and decided, yes. YAG turned my anxiety into my power, my passion into my strength. YAG turned my fear into resolve, and it is a feeling like no other.
What changes would you make to press in order to benefit it for the future?
As I said in my opening, I'd really love to improve on everything that we've been doing this year, especially with the website. I know we've gotten a lot of overviews about the website, and I'm really looking forward to what we've been doing with that. That will really help photographers get their work out there on the gallery. And for video, it won't just be on YouTube or Instagram, it'll be on the website as well. So I think really highlighting the website will be good next year. And if not, I want to make sure that every delegation has an Instagram account or some form of social media. Thank you.
That's about all for now. This concludes the 2020 Eastern Pre-Legislative Session. The Chair will now accept a motion to adjourn. Is there such a motion? Motion! Is there a second? Second! All in favor? Aye! All opposed? Nay! Division is heard but not recognized. The 2020 Eastern Pre-Legislative Session is now adjourned. I look forward to seeing you all in April.
Delegates, if you take away anything from what I have said to you today, let it be this. Saturdays are for the Moys. Thank you.